Hello and welcome to Lyra Nara. In this video we're going to talk about a very important subject, and that is how crucial a balanced gut microbiome, so all the bacteria in your gut, is for your overall health. And we're also gonna propose to you and show you some natural remedies and solutions that will help you keep a balanced gut and therefore maintain your overall health and solve a lot of common health conditions. So, without further ado, let's dive right in and learn more about how important a healthy gut is for you and how you can maintain it. Let's start by talking about what a microbiome is and what affects it in a negative way. So the microbiome is the genetic material of all microbes, so the bacteria, the fungi, the protozoa and viruses that live on and inside of your body. And the bacteria that contribute to your microbiome are essential to your health, development, immune function and nutritional status. Sounds complex? Well, that's because it really is. It's a very delicate balance that can easily be disrupted. Here are 5 factors that impact your gut microbiome negatively. First is stress. We all have to deal with stress on a daily basis, but when it becomes acute and chronic stress, studies show that it can have a physical impact on the gut microbiome, even leading to such gastrointestinal disorders as inflammatory bowel disease, irritable bowel syndrome, peptic ulcers, gastroesophageal reflux disease and even cancer in your gastrointestinal tract. Another stress factor is the birth method. Studies show that babies born by C-section have reduced bacterial diversity and lower levels of good bacteria than babies born via the birth canal. Also important is exercise. It has been shown that a lack of exercise is clearly linked to reduced bacterial diversity in your gut. The more types of good bugs, of course, in your gut, the better. So pay attention to your exercise regime and do it regularly. Another bad influence on your gut microbiome is antibiotics. Taking antibiotics can disrupt the delicate balance of the bacteria in your gut as it kills the bad and the good microorganisms. And also of importance is your diet. It has been shown that diets low in fiber and high in sugar can have a negative impact on your gut bacteria. While fiber feeds good bacteria, sugar feeds bad bacteria, yeasts and parasites. Additionally, pay also attention and be careful with excessive alcohol consumption, because this can also reduce the good bacteria in your gut. And we're gonna talk about probiotics, prebiotics and symbiotics here, because this is the best way of balancing out your gut bacteria. There are multiple sources for probiotics, whether for example through foods such as yogurt or fermented foods like kombucha and kefir, or supplements that we're gonna discuss. There are ways to recolonize your gut with good bacteria. However, it's important to note also that not all of these sources are equally reliable, so make sure you choose a probiotic source that is strain identified and has clinically demonstrated benefits. And I've already mentioned it that probiotics are a very good way of balancing out your gut bacteria. And not many of us know that 70% of our immune system is located actually in our gut. And probiotics can help support, therefore, our immune health. Our gut is actually host to over 100 trillion individual bacteria from over 500 species. And that's 10 times as many bacteria as there are human cells in our bodies. And when this delicate bacterial balance in our gut is out of whack, probiotics are your most powerful ally to help restore your intestinal ecosystem. So what are probiotics then? The word probiotic comes from Greek and it means for life, opposite to antibiotics, which means against life. Probiotics are alive microorganisms that are beneficial to your health. And via effects on the microbiome and on the human body itself, probiotics may impact every facet of your health. Why are then probiotics so important? Because they influence more than just your gut health. Amongst others, also nasal, sinus, and respiratory health, allergies, gastrointestinal health, of course, increased nutrient absorption and digestive comfort, but also vaginal and urogenital health, immune health, mental health, etc. And we're gonna make an extra video where we're gonna talk specifically about this last one, the mental health, the emotions, and how it is impacted by the balance in your gut. Now that we have established what probiotics are, namely live bacteria, live bacterial cultures that are beneficial to your gut health, you might also hear the terms prebiotics and symbiotics. So let's clear up what the difference is between probiotics, prebiotics, and symbiotics. Different prebiotics will stimulate the growth of different indigenous gut bacteria. So the prebiotics are food for the bacteria. And prebiotics are substances that can only be metabolized by the gut bacteria and not the human host. And they have enormous potential for modifying the gut microbiota, but these modifications occur at the level of individual strains and species and are not easily predicted a priori. Furthermore, the gut environment, especially the pH, plays a key role in determining the outcome of interspecies competition. Fruit, vegetables, cereals, and other edible plants are sources of carbohydrates that constitute potential prebiotics. Such foods are tomatoes, artichokes, bananas, asparagus, berries, garlic, onions, chicory, green vegetables, legumes, as well as oats, linseed, barley, and wheat. There are also some artificially produced prebiotics, amongst others lactulose, galacto-oligosaccharides, fructo-oligosaccharides, malto-oligosaccharides, cyclodextrins, and lactosaccharose. Lactulose constitutes a significant part of the produced oligosaccharides, as much as 40%, and fructans such as inulin and oligofructose are believed to be the most used and effective in relation to many species of probiotics. And now we are left with the word symbiotics. And symbiotics are a combination simply of pro and prebiotics. Now that we understand what prebiotics, probiotics, and symbiotics are and how important your gut microbiome is for your overall health, let's look at maybe the king of probiotics, and that is Saccharomyces boulardii. And this Saccharomyces boulardii probiotic has recently helped me personally get rid of a very bad infection in my stomach that led to diarrhea for days on end. Saccharomyces boulardii is a non-pathogenic, non-sporing yeast, meaning it stays only in your gut. It was first discovered by accident by French biologist Henri Boulard in 1923 in the skin of lychee fruits and mangosteen. Saccharomyces boulardii is not the exact same strain as Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is commonly also called baker's or brewer's yeast. Nor is it Saccharomyces exiguus, which is the wild yeast found naturally in vegetables, fruits, and grains and is the source of sourdough starters. The great thing about Saccharomyces compared to other probiotics is that it reaches the gut intact and alive because it is very resistant to the acidity in your stomach. It helps colonize the gastrointestinal tract with beneficial bacteria. It provides protection, supports also your secretory IgA levels, which are a very important part of your immune system. Also, the other great advantage of it is it does not need to be kept refrigerated and is relatively inexpensive. Let's go then over a list of common health conditions that have been shown to be very well treatable with Saccharomyces boulardii in medical research. And there are thousands and thousands of studies on Saccharomyces boulardii. Just go on PubMed and you're going to find all of them. So it's been extensively researched, and all of this information that I'm going to present to you is according to the medical research. First on the list of common conditions that can be treated with Saccharomyces boulardii is diarrhea, whether it is traveler's diarrhea, acute nutrition-related diarrhea, or antibiotic-induced diarrhea. Studies have clearly shown that Saccharomyces boulardii is an effective remedy for acute diarrhea in children and adults, and this is the short-term diarrhea that typically lasts for no more than 2 weeks. Another study found that in an analysis of 12 studies, taking just one 500 milligram dose of Saccharomyces boulardii each day while traveling significantly reduces the risk of traveler's diarrhea. And researchers now believe that Saccharomyces boulardii helps to promote recovery from diarrhea by restoring the intestinal bacteria that is required for normal bowel functioning. Next on the list we have irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. This is a chronic condition which causes very uncomfortable intestinal symptoms. And research has revealed that Saccharomyces boulardii reduces abdominal pain, cramps, bloating, and excessively frequent bowel movements for a large percentage of those with IBS. Then we have irritable bowel disease, or IBD. It primarily consists of Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Both are extremely painful conditions which cause damage to the intestinal tract. Saccharomyces boulardii acts as an anti-inflammatory agent in the intestinal tract and has been shown to prevent flares in Crohn's disease, as well as excessively frequent bowel movements and intestinal inflammation in ulcerative colitis. Next on the list is Clostridium difficile. Clostridium difficile is a bacteria that many carry inside of their intestinal tract. In a small percentage of children and adults, Clostridium difficile can create dangerous secondary infections, which are especially common after receiving antibiotic therapy in the hospital. And since antibiotics can create this infection, it is extremely challenging to treat. Fortunately, it has been shown that Saccharomyces boulardii can reduce the rates of Clostridium difficile infections in hospitalized adult and pediatric patients on antibiotics. Then we have Helicobacter pylori. This is a bacteria that causes stomach and sometimes small intestine ulcers. H. pylori has been also linked to stomach cancer in susceptible individuals, and Saccharomyces boulardii again has been shown to eradicate this dangerous bacteria. But that's not all that Saccharomyces boulardii can treat. Oh no, far from it. It can also treat conditions such as, believe it or not, acne. A preliminary study found more than 80% of those taking Saccharomyces boulardii experience complete or considerable healing of acne in just 5 months. It can also treat autoimmune gastritis, because first it builds a better intestinal barrier. It has been shown that the Saccharomyces boulardii can do more than help autoimmune gastritis. It can actually heal it. By strengthening the tight junctions between cells, Saccharomyces boulardii strengthens the walls of your intestines and makes them a better barrier against infection. Another way in which it addresses autoimmune gastritis is that it raises the IgA, so the immunoglobulin A levels. It heals the autoimmune gastritis by raising those IgA levels, and IgA, or immunoglobulin A, is one of the main antibodies that lines your intestinal tract to protect us from infections. And sadly, it often becomes impaired or weakened. And here, Saccharomyces boulardii supplementation has been shown to boost levels of this critical substance. It also helps digest disaccharides. Disaccharides are sugars such as lactose or fructose, which can be hard to digest when the intestinal tract is not working right. And this is because of a lack of disaccharidase, which is the enzyme needed to process disaccharides, and is often why people struggle to properly digest good carbohydrates like beans or vegetables. Adding Saccharomyces boulardii to your regimen will help your body produce more of this enzyme and lead to better carbohydrate digestion. And it also reduces inflammation. It reduces inflammation actually throughout the intestinal tract, and this helps give the cells that line your intestinal tract a chance to repair the autoimmune gastritis and rebuild the villi, or tiny hair-like projections, to increase nutrient absorption. And when the gut is less inflamed, autoimmune conditions also improve. And we are still not done with the health benefits of Saccharomyces boulardii. The benefits don't end just with improved skin and intestinal health. Since Saccharomyces boulardii is such a strong anti-inflammatory agent, it also acts powerfully throughout your body. It improves your immune function, it reduces food allergies, it lowers your risk of infection, and increases the nutrients your body is able to absorb from food. It works also great against amoebic dysentery, which is a parasite transmitted by contaminated food and water. It combats mucositis, which is a common adverse effect of chemo and radiation therapy. It's also great for addressing obesity and or diabetes. It's good for your liver health and even prevents coronary artery diseases. Overall, Saccharomyces boulardii makes such an effective probiotic because it creates so-called mannane oligosaccharides, or MOS for short. And these are compounds that prevent harmful bacteria from adhering to the intestinal tract, as it inactivates harmful strains of yeast. And because it's strong enough to survive stomach acid and protein digesting enzymes, it's also able to travel to the small and large intestines where it can help. It is also completely safe to take with or instead of bacterial-based probiotics. And talking of safety, it's generally safe to use in appropriate doses, meaning 1 to 3 capsules per day, whereby a capsule has 5 billion CFU per capsule, and we are speaking about 250 milligram capsules here. There is not currently sufficient evidence on the safety of Saccharomyces boulardii on pregnant women. May also not be suitable for immune-compromised patients, and it is not suitable for those with an yeast allergy. Great thing about Saccharomyces boulardii is also that there are no known interactions with other drugs, but it may lose its effectiveness if taken in conjunction with antifungals. So, as we have seen, Saccharomyces boulardii is truly awesome for addressing your overall health, not only intestinal problems and skin problems. Another great way in which you can address all of these health conditions that we've discussed is galvanic therapy. Because our body is a very complex and carefully balanced superhighway of cells, tissues and fluids that direct an unimaginably high number of electrical impulses every second. And this is only possible in a so-called homeostatic environment when the electricity is well conducted to carry the signals to their intended destinations. Each cell in our body works like a small battery with about 70 to 90 millivolts, with a positively charged cell nucleus and a negatively charged cell plasma. And galvanic current is generated by a galvanic element and flows continuously from the positive pole towards the negative pole. Careful here, many people confuse galvanic therapy with other types of therapies. And galvanic current is very different from alternating current such as the AC current from the power grid, and also different from vibrational and pulsating currents such as you find in TENS devices or Zapper devices, and also different from interference currents, which are sending frequencies to tease your body. Galvanic currents are free of frequencies and pulses, and are applied to the human body through electrodes, two electrodes, a negative and a positive one, and thereby the positive ions move towards the negative electrode and the negative ions move towards the positive electrode. And within the body an instant flow of ions occurs which move then through your cellular membrane. Galvanic currents are, as we've mentioned, not teasing the body, they are harmonizing and stimulating metabolic processes. They also help correct the cellular membrane potential, they are energizing, balancing, while all the other frequencies for the TENS and Zephyr devices are exciting and provoking the cells. Whichever condition you might have, you should include galvanic therapy in your treatment. And we recommend the so-called Iono Trans galvanic therapy devices for their unparalleled features, such as that they are very affordable, portable and versatile. They have an extremely high accuracy and also a variety of special highly conductive electrodes. And a link to the Iono Trans is going to be provided for your convenience in the description box below. To sum it all up, I think it has become more than clear that your gut really matters, your gut health. And when you have a healthy gut, it means that you have overall health. As we've also learned, probiotics such as Saccharomyces boulardii and galvanic therapy can help you remain in this balanced state where the good gut bacteria is there and is not overwhelmed by the bad gut bacteria. If you have any questions about this subject, the Iono Trans or Saccharomyces boulardii, please do not hesitate to contact us. Link in the description box below, including our toll-free phone number 1-888-773-3196. That is 1-888-773-3196. We love to talk to you and advise you on what is best for you. Also, if you've enjoyed this presentation, do not hesitate to like, share and subscribe, and also hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on the weekly content on holistic health that is published on this channel. And with all that being said, stay healthy. Until next time.